his love already. What we need is understanding. John 3:16, it says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever will believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life. What is missing in our world is love. Amen. What is missing in our world is love. Amen. What will make a man to leave and go kill people is the absence of love. You know why? Because when you love God, you will love your neighbor as yourself. He says the greatest commandment is love God with all your might, with all your strength, with all your heart. And the second one is love your neighbor as yourself. A man who loves his neighbor as himself cannot do what? Kill his neighbor. So the responsibility that we are missing now is that we are supposed to be the ones spreading the love of God, which you can meet someone who is missing this love and you tell him about the love of God, and it comes into his heart and fills his heart, and all of a sudden he starts loving his neighbor as himself. The love of God is what is missing. The understanding of God's love is what is missing. And the gospel is simple. For God so loved the world. You don't need to be a pastor to tell someone, for God so loved the world. And he said, I pray that the eyes of your understanding be enlightened. Until the eyes of your understanding is enlightened, you will not even see what God is doing. That is what is missing in our world. It's not money, it's not cars, it's not houses, it's not kids, it's not husbands. It is the love of God. It is the love of God. Amen. Let's read 1 Corinthians 13 verse 2. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 2. Hear what Paul says. He said, if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. He said, if I have all of these things, that means a man can perform miracles without love. That means a man can prophesy without love. A man can teach you faith without love. And without that love, you are nothing. Without love, you are nothing. You see, anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. The love that we need can only come from God. And it can only come when we hear and when we are being told about his love. Amen. When we are being told about his love, when we come to understand the sacrifice that he made to bring us where we are, the sacrifice that he made that we may be called the sons of God, when we come to understand that love, then can we understand what the situation or the circumstance is. The gospel is one. The gospel is one. And it is the love of God. You know, Jesus would say the kingdom is like a merchant who was searching for fine pearls. He said once he discovered one of great value, he went back and sold every other thing that he had to come and acquire the kingdom. When you understand the love of God, it comes into your life to make you understand that all of these things that I had thought I needed to live a good life is not actually what I need. All I need is the love of God. All I need is the love of God. I used to think I needed a husband. I used to think I needed a car. I used to think I needed a house. I used to think I needed a job. But I have discovered the love of God, and then I realize it is just his love that I need. And then it gives you strength to let go of every other thing that you had held. Save time. Let's save time. The second thing that the love of God will make you understand is purpose. And I did a teaching here one time. I said, purpose is not a doing. The fact that I'm teaching or preaching does not mean this is my purpose. Amen. How do I know this? Let's read the book of Matthew chapter 7 verse 21 to 23. It says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and did we not cast out demons in your name and do many mighty works in your name? And he will say, and then will I declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you worker of lawlessness. Why? You preached, you performed miracles, you prophesied, but you did not do the will of his Father. What is the will of his Father? That he so loved the world. So the will of God is that you love the world. So if you are preaching, teaching, singing, and it's not being fueled by the spirit of love, you are walking in iniquity. Amen. The will of the Father is that you love. Amen. And Paul helped us. He said, if I prophesy, if I have mysteries of knowledge, if I have all of these things and I don't have love, I am nothing. Amen. I am nothing. Why? Because the spirit that fuels the action is not of love. So the purpose of all men, irrespective of what you do, is to love one another. Amen. The purpose of all men is love. It's not a doing. It's not preaching. It's not prophesying. It is love. So until you come to the understanding of his love, irrespective of what you do, it's not counted as working for God. Amen.